You think your best friend would never betray you. History and power beg to differ. From Roman emperors to modern leaders, time and again those who put their full trust in friends end up buried by them. But what if I told you your greatest asset in power might actually be your enemy? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why trusting friends is one of the most dangerous mistakes in power and how to turn your enemies into your most loyal weapons. We all crave safety. When we step into a leadership role, start a business, or rise socially, who do we turn to first? Friends. They're familiar, comfortable, and we trust them blindly. But that's the trap. Robert Greene, author of The 48 Laws of Power, warns us, never put too much trust in friends. Learn how to use enemies. Why? Because friends rarely show their full selves. They agree to avoid conflict. They support us to maintain the bond. But when power and money enter the picture, their true feelings, jealousy, entitlement, resentment start to surface. And those emotions are silent killers. Let's go back in time to one of the clearest examples of this law. Byzantium, 9th century. Michael III was a young emperor, surrounded by danger, betrayal, and politics. He needed someone he could trust, so he turned to his best friend, Basilius. Basilius was a stable boy, and nobody. But one day, he saved Michael from a wild horse, risked his life. Michael was impressed. He elevated Basilius, gave him wealth, titles, education, and status. Eventually, he made him his chief advisor. Everyone warned Michael to be careful. There were more experienced men like Bardas, his uncle, but Michael chose loyalty over logic. Big mistake. Basilius gained more power, then began manipulating Michael. He turned him against Bardas, got him killed, and took control of the army. Now Basilius had everything: military power, political sway, and Michael's trust. Until one night after a heavy drinking session, Michael woke up surrounded by guards. Basilius had him murdered in cold blood. He then rode through the city holding his best friend's head on a pike. Let that sink in. Why do friends betray? Because of what psychologists call cognitive dissonance. They're close to you, but deep down, they feel they should have what you have. They saw your rise, helped you on the way, maybe even introduced you to the right people. But once you're at the top, their loyalty competes with their ego. Soon, they stop feeling grateful and start feeling entitled. Enemies, on the other hand, they expect nothing. If you give them an opportunity, they're more likely to be grateful and loyal. Why? Because they know what's at stake. They have something to prove. Here's how powerful leaders flip the script. Use former enemies to create balance. Their hunger to prove themselves keeps them honest. Create alliances based on mutual self-interest. These are stronger than blind loyalty. Give enemies a seat at the table. They become the watchdogs. They've already challenged you now. They help you see what others won't. Even Abraham Lincoln said, "Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends?" He used this principle during the Civil War to unite a fractured nation. Want a modern example? Henry Kissinger. He famously built relationships with people who tried to discredit, oppose, or even kidnap him. Why? Because these enemies ended up becoming his best allies. Why? Because when you sit across the table from someone you once fought against, it forces mutual respect, clear boundaries, and strategic cooperation. It's not personal, it's power. So here's the punchline. Your friends may smile in the room and scheme behind the curtain, but your enemies, if they sit across the table, they're either plotting or working. And if you give them a reason to work with you, not against you, they can become your greatest asset. They keep you sharp, honest, and respected, because nothing earns loyalty like forgiveness and strategy. Never forget, in the game of power, familiarity is dangerous, and comfort often blinds you to betrayal. So don't let your guard down. If this opened your eyes, smash the like button, drop a comment with "I trust wisely," and subscribe for more deep dives into the 48 Laws of Power. And remember, keep your friends for dinner, but build your empire with your enemies.